All right, let's talk about something that gives every homeowner that sinking feeling, that dreaded drip, drip, drip from a roof leak. Today, we're going to break it all down and give you a super practical first responders guide for when water decides to invite itself into your home. Let's get right into it. You know that feeling, right? That little jolt of panic when you look up and see it, a weird brownish stain on your ceiling? Or even worse, an actual drip. Your mind just starts racing. But here's the thing you have to remember. This isn't just some cosmetic problem. It's basically your house sending up a flare, telling you it needs help and fast. And here's why you really, really need to act fast. A leak that you ignore is like a wrecking ball in slow motion. I mean, we're talking about water getting into the very bones of your house, causing structural rot. And in a worst-case scenario, yeah, the ceiling could actually collapse. Plus, you've got mold and mildew, which is just nasty and can be bad for your health. Oh, and if water meets your electrical systems, that's a huge hazard. And it will absolutely destroy your insulation and drywall, just trashing your home's energy efficiency.
So you're probably wondering, why me? Why is this happening? Well, understanding what's actually causing the leak is the first step to fixing it for good. So let's play detective and look at the usual suspects.
A really big one, especially if you live somewhere with crazy weather, is storm and wind damage. Just picture it. A powerful gust of wind gets right underneath your shingles, and it can lift them up or just, poof, tear them clean off. As soon as that happens, your roof's protective shield is gone, and water has an open invitation to come on in. Now, for those of us in colder climates, there's this really sneaky winter problem called an ice dam. Here's how it works. The snow on your roof melts, runs down to the edge where it's colder, and then it refreezes. This creates a literal wall of ice. So what happens to the rest of the melting snow? It gets trapped, with nowhere to go except up and under your shingles. It's a classic frustrating cause of winter leaks. And you know, sometimes the culprit is just plain old time. Your roof is out there taking a beating from the sun, rain, and snow 24/7. After years and years of that, things just wear out. Shingles get brittle, the seals crack. So if your roof is pushing 20 years old and suddenly starts leaking, it might just be its way of saying, I'm ready to retire. Okay, so we've got the potential causes down. Now let's get you ready to find the clues, because honestly, catching a leak early can save you a ton of money and headaches. So let's go over the telltale signs that your roof is crying out for help. Let's run through your leak spotting checklist. The most obvious signs are inside the house, of course, those water stains or the dripping, but you can also spot trouble from the outside. Take a look at your roof. Are any shingles curling up at the edges, or some just gone? Also, a great pro tip, check your gutters. If you see a bunch of what looks like black sand in there, those are the granules from your shingles. That's a huge sign of wear and tear. And back inside, if you see mold in the attic or paint peeling off the walls, those are major red flags. So you've found the signs. You know you need to call in the cavalry. But what actually happens next? Let's pull back the curtain and look at how the pros track down and fix a leak for good. First up, any good pro is going to do a super thorough inspection. See, the tricky thing about water is that it travels, so the spot on your ceiling isn't always right below the actual hole in the roof. They might even use cool tech like thermal imaging to find the exact entry point. After that, the fix really depends on the problem. It could be as simple as patching a small hole with some heavy-duty sealant, or they might need to replace some damaged shingles. A lot of the time, the problem is the flashing. That's the metal stuff around chimneys and vents. That might just need to be resealed or replaced. And that brings us to the big one, right? The question on everybody's mind, what is this actually going to cost me? Let's talk about the investment you're looking at for a roof leak repair. Okay, first things first, there's no single price tag. The final bill is going to depend on a few things. How bad is the leak? What kind of roof do you have? And frankly, how hard is it to get to the spot that needs fixing? A simple patch on an easy-to-reach, single-story house is going to be way cheaper than a major fix on a super steep roof. But to give you a real idea, let's look at some numbers for New Jersey. For a pretty minor repair, like sealing a small hole or some flashing, you're probably in the $150 to $400 range. If it's more moderate, like replacing some shingles around a vent, that's more like $400 to $900. And for the really major stuff, where they have to fix the decking underneath or there are multiple leaks, yeah, you could be looking at $1,000 to $1,500. It just gives you a solid ballpark to start with.
Now, before you start stressing about that cost, here is an absolutely crucial tip. Check your insurance policy. A lot of homeowners' policies will actually cover repairs if the damage was caused by a specific event, like a big storm or a hailstorm. Now, they usually won't cover a leak that's just from old age or not taking care of your roof, but it is always worth checking. You never know.
Okay, fixing the leak you have right now is one thing. But what about the long game? How do you keep this from happening all over again? Let's wrap up by talking about choosing the right person for the job and preventing future leaks.
Your roof is way too important to trust to just anyone. When you're hiring a contractor, you have to do your homework. Make sure they are licensed and insured. That's non-negotiable. It protects you. Look for someone with real, proven experience in finding leaks. Check their reviews. And a good pro will always give you a written estimate and, importantly, stand by their work with a warranty. At the end of the day, the best long-term solution is just prevention. Being proactive is so much cheaper and less stressful than reacting to a disaster. I mean, think about it. Spending a couple $100 on an annual inspection could save you from that $1,500 major repair down the line. It's pretty simple stuff. Get your roof looked at once a year, keep those gutters clean so water can actually drain, and if you see one damaged shingle, get it fixed right away before it becomes a real problem. So, I'll just leave you with this final thought. Your roof is probably the hardest working part of your entire house. It's up there day and night protecting you from everything. So the question is, when was the last time you gave it a little checkup? Taking care of it now is the best way to make sure it keeps taking care of you. Thanks for tuning in.